Hello, hello, hello. Um, so today is going to be a writing session instead of a jamming session. So that should be fun. We'll have to see how that goes on stream. Um, but I'm sure we'll find a way to make it work. Because songwriting's always fun. And it's even more fun when it's collaborative. So feel free to pop any ideas on the chat. I'm going to start off. Actually, I don't need these on right now. I'm going to start off with I wrote some lyrics a while back, and I've just been having a read through them because I never. So I'm going to have a little look and see if I can come up with some just good basic chords to go with it. Obviously, there's a lot more we'll go into at some point, but that's all stuff that takes a long time and will require screen sharing, which I need to figure out how to do. So for now, I'm going to see if we can get some chords going. I'm going to start by just picking a letter. I'll go with D. D minor. D minor's nice. It's quite a spoopy sort of song, so. Ooh. I'm quite liking that actually. Might see if that fits with the verse. The lyrics are just about. I don't know. Have you ever been going home at night and you just feel creeped out by air, or is that just anxiety? I'm not sure. But it's basically like that feeling like something's following you, even when there's not. Press the bell. Need to get a good melody. Press the bell on the bus and it buzzes again, but there's no one but me getting off in the end. Maybe needs to be a bit more concise. Press the bell on the bus and it buzzes again, but there's no one getting off in the end. Take a step and it echoes once, then twice, but there's no one but me under the street lights. Quite like that, actually. We'll work with that for now. We'll polish it up later. And it's got a really short first verse, and then it goes into a very long sort of chorus section. So if we start off in a similar way, and then make it more interesting. Bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost, and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. A maggot crawl. So bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost, and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. Are you real or just my memories? So bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost, and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. There's a bad, bad ghost following me. Can work with that for now. If anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to pop them in. Even if you're watching this back later, like, this is the very first part of the process of me writing, so it's going to get changed a lot. So your suggestions might still get used if you're watching this back a week later and you leave a comment on it. And the shadow follows me. There should be me in my own, but I count three. Hear a breeze and it's whispering my name. I wonder if the ghost is here playing. Get stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. There's a bad ghost and it's following me. Then it goes into sort of bridge section. So I've been enjoying the G minor when it comes in for a little bit of flavour, so I might switch more to that. No, maybe. Oh, that's nice. This is just paranoia, it's getting quite annoying. Is it just fear and trauma? Is there a reason for the trauma? Oh, bad, bad ghost, you haunt my steps, yeah. Oh, bad, bad ghost, won't you let me rest? Bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. A maggot crawling at my memories. Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. Are you real or just my memories? Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's following me. Yeah, that's working all right actually. So we'll try going through that from the top and see how well that flows. Because it might be a little samey. There's not that much variation in there, but we'll give it a go. It's always time to improve on first drafts as well. By the time songs end up being released, when it comes to my songs anyway, it's usually like a 20th draft. So I don't know about everyone else's process, but I tend to change stuff up quite a lot when I go back to it. Press the bell on the bus and it buzzes again, but there's no one but me getting off in the end. Take a step and it echoes once, then twice, but there's no one but me under the street lights. Bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. A maggot crawling at my memories. Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. Are you real or just my memories? Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. There's a bad, bad ghost following me. I walk alone and a shadow follows me. There should be me in my own, but I can't. It's whispering my name. I wonder if the ghost is here. Bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. A maggot crawling at my memories. Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, following me. This is just paranoia, it's getting quite annoying. Is this just fear or trauma? Is there a reason for the former? Oh, bad, bad ghost, you haunt my steps, yeah. Oh, bad, bad ghost, won't you let me rest? Bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be, a maggot crawling at my memories. Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be, are you real or just memories? Oh, bad ghost, go away. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's here to stay. Oh, bad ghost, leave me be. There's a bad, bad ghost and it's following me. Yeah, I reckon that works. I'm going to write those chords down, because what will happen is I'll do that and I'll think, oh, they work for it. And then it'll just go whoosh out my head. If I just write down what the main progression was there, then I've got it, and I can look back at it and figure out what was going on. So it mostly switches from D minor to C on the verse, and then the chorus is like between D minor and F, and D minor and C, with a fancy little G minor thrown in. And as long as I've got that written down, I should be able to remember it. And I'm going to write down the label of what the song is, because I nearly did the thing that I do a lot of the time, that I know I've got a few friends who do this as well, because we've commiserated about it together before, where I write down the chords for a song and I forget to label it. So I've got notebooks full of just pages with little chord progressions written on them, and no idea they belong to. Anyway, I'm happy with how that went. So with that done, maybe we can work on writing some lyrics. Lyric writing is always fun. I like lyric writing. Since there's not many people watching at the moment, I mean, feel free to jump on the chat and throw out a prompt if you want. But otherwise, I am going to go to Google and I'm going to type in writing prompts. And it'll come up probably with prompts for like prose, but meh. It can be good song prompts as well. Does anyone else ever do that? Just like, if they're in the mood to just write a song, do they just kind of get a writing prompt and go from there? Because it's a really good method, actually. Sometimes it's good to just pick a word and just write tons about the word. Oh, object writing is a good one, where you pick a word and you write about it for a set amount of time, and you just write and write and write any sort of gobbledygook that comes out and follow all the weird brain connections. So you could start off with tree and end up with, I don't know, spaghetti bolognese. You know, I'm sure there's steps in between those two things that make it make sense. But, you know, you end up with a lot of interesting kind of winding roads and things you can use as metaphors on the way. And then you can just pick out some phrases that you like from that. And then those phrases, the start of your lyrics. And then after that, the song pretty much writes itself, because you've got something to go off there. And you don't have to keep them exactly the same either. Like, if you've got a phrase that sounds really good, but is way too wordy. You can just chuck a bunch of words out. It's fine. Alright, writing prompts. Let's pick a random one. Don't stab my phone with a pen. Goodness. There we go. Turn the last song you listened to into a story. Well, that doesn't work as a writing prompt. We could do it the other way around. Turn the last story you read into a song. But that doesn't work actually because I'm halfway through a book right now. Alright, let's try a different one. Boop. Write about a time you failed. That sounds vaguely depressing, but we could go for that. That's quite deep. That's a very deep one. Could write about the feeling of failure in general, because I think that's a feeling that everyone experiences in their life at some point. But we don't want to write a depressing song, so let's write about overcoming that feeling. See, I've got to this point, and usually I get to this point and I'm doing this all in my head, and things come really naturally. Because I'm saying it out loud, it adds another level of challenge. Because I have to not just spout random nonsense. You might find it entertaining. So, failure. For some reason, because the word failure almost rhymes with sailor. I mean, it doesn't in any way, shape or form, but it kind of does. I kind of want to write a song called The Failure of a Sailor. Oh, it should be set out on the sea. It should have mermaids in it. Let's have mermaids in it. Sirens. Yes. Oh, can you hear them calling? That's going to be. Can you hear them calling? The sirens on the waves. Pearlescent shining like angels fallen. Remember, again, like when I was writing the chords for that other song, this is all stuff that's going to get changed and chopped up and moved about later. But what did I even say? Pearlescent shining like angels fallen. Ooh. They lead stray. Is it too early to say sailors in a song with sailors in the title? I feel like that's on the nose. Wanderers. I feel like wanderers works. But then again, stray and sailors is alliterative because they're both S words, which is nice. We like a bit of sibilance around here. Yeah, stray sailors. It's fine. Oh, didn't write half the sentence because I was concentrating on stray sailors. Thinking too much about sailors again. It always happens, doesn't it? We all have that problem. There we go, we've got the first 4 lines. Can you hear them calling, the sirens on the waves, pearlescent shining like angels fallen? They lead. Oh, it's spooky already. We like a spooky one. Oh, spooky sea songs. Yes, please. I like the idea of carrying on with the theme of can you hear them? Can you hear them wailing? Oh, wailing is good. It rhymes with sailing. We can use that. Can you hear them wailing? Their voices raised in song. The sirens on the waves, their voices raised in song. Yeah, it's handy to, from one verse to the next, it's handy to try and keep the line length very similar and the flow and rhythm of it. Otherwise, it leads to a lot more editing when you're trying to make it fit in with chords. Can you hear them wailing? What did I just say? Their voices raised in song. So, oh, I just wrote sond. So the third line of the first verse is pearlescent shining like angels fallen. So I feel like we should try and match the structure with starting with some sort of adjective. Maybe. What other adjectives can we use for mermaids? I mean, they're shiny, aren't they? I've already said they're shiny. What else are they? Opalescent? Bit similar to pearlescent. We can change it later. Opalescent glory. Shines on those sailing. Who've been gone for far too long. Because we're talking about the sailors who've got lost on the sea. They're being led away by the mermaids. Oh, it's hasn't it? Like, we like something good and folky. That's the first material. Let's see if, since I've got my instrument out here, see, one of the things about writing lyrics very often, which is why it's handy to have a little writing session like this. But usually, I would write lyrics on the bus. And I don't often have my instrument, so a lot of the time the chords get done very long time afterwards, as with that other song. Let's have a look and see if we can come up with anything nice for this. I feel like it should be spooky but magical. That's quite a difficult combo. Let's start with an E. E's always a nice way to start. I think you can go mysterious places quite easily from an E. Not drugs, chords. That's beyond my realm of knowledge right there, I'll tell you. Can you hear them calling? Sirens on the waves, pearlescent shining like angels fallen. They lead the... Oh, that last line needs to be shorter. They lead the doomed ones. Oh. Oh, the doomed lost. They lead the doomed lost to their graves. I like that better. Can you hear them calling? The sirens on the waves, pearlescent shining like angels fallen. They lead the doomed lost to their grave. Oh no, need to go somewhere different after. Graves. Can you hear them? Ooh, not good rhythm. Can you hear them wailing? Their voices raised in song. No pearlescent glory shines on those sailing who've been gone for far too long. Can you hear them calling? The sun on the waves, and shining angels fall, and they lead the doomed lost to their graves. Oh, can you hear them wailing, their voices raised in song? Oh, pearlescent glory shines on those assailing who've been gone for far too long. Yeah, that's gonna work. It's a bit wordy, so we'll probably... Also, those sailing has turned to those assailing. We've got even folk here. Let's lean into it. Let's lean into the folk. It's all good. That's very wordy though, so we're going to want a nice simple chorus to counteract it. Otherwise, it's going to be really wordy all the way through, and that's a lot, isn't it? I mean, it might be all right. It might be confusing, but to sing, it's a lot. So we're going to try and have a nice simple chorus, I reckon. We need something nice and hooky that sums it up. What's the story we're trying to tell? Is it about the sailors, or is it about the mermaids? That's the question. I think it's more about the mermaids, but it's about the sailor experiencing the mermaids. That's the viewpoint that we've got, is two people maybe talking on this ship that's lost at sea. Lost at sea! Oh! Lost at sea. Because we can read lots of things into that as well. That's nice. There's lots of places to go visually with that. Lost at sea. How many frozen moons has it been? I don't know why they're frozen. I think it's cold. Frosty moons. Frozen moons or frosty moons? Frosted moons. Oh. Or how many frosted moons have passed? How many frosted moons have passed? Because it's cold. It's cold out there. Lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed? Ooh, where do we go from there? I like a good rhyming scheme, so I want to I've line there. We're gonna have two more lines. We're gonna have the last one end in mast. Something about clinging to the mast. Lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed? Lost and gone was he, clinging to a sinking mast. Ah, that works. Lost and gone was he. Clinging to a sinking mast. See, I'm not sure though if that's a chorus or if that's a pre-chorus that leads into a right big raucous chorus. It could be either. Let's have a little go at playing it and see where it goes. Can you hear them calling, the sirens on the waves? Pearlescent shining angels fall, and they lead the doomed lost to their graves. Oh, can you hear them wailing, their voices raised in song? Oh, pearlescent glory shines on those assailing who've been gone for far too long. Oh, definitely go back to the E. Gone for far too long. Oh, on the waves, oh pearlescent shining angels fall, and they lead the doomed lost to their graves. Oh, can you hear them wailing, their voices raised in song? Oh, pearlescent glory shines on those assailing who've been gone for far too long. Oh, lost at sea, how many frosted moons have lost and gone was he, clinging to a sinking mast. So I think, because it felt quite natural to go into the verse after that bit, I think we need another verse after the chorus, so that we don't just have to repeat the first verse again like we did there. So, did you hear the warnings? Ooh. Implying that he knew that this might happen, but he went sailing in these waters anyway. So he's a brave sailor, but he's also a daft sailor, because you don't go where there's mythic beasties. Did he hear the warnings? Oh, did you hear the warnings? He didn't heed the warnings could be the start of the next bit of it. Did you hear the warnings? And then, so we need something that's got the same flow as the sirens on the waves as that, and their voices raised in song. So, did you hear the warnings? As the storm came raging through, because he's got trapped in a storm, and that's why he's gone out into these dangerous seas and got trapped in a storm, and now he's rowing towards these singing mermaids. As the storm came through, did you hear the warnings as the storm came through? Magnificence and fury's calling. Oh. Magnificent, the fury's calling. I don't know why there's furies in it as well as mermaids now, but there are. Because we can have whatever mythical beasts we want in this song. Magnificent, the fury's calling. Everything rhymes with through. But all I can think of is poo, because that's how my brain works. And I'm not going to write poo. Although, in fairness, if he was in these uncharted waters and there's a storm and he can hear all sorts of, like, this menagerie of mythical beasts around him, I think poo might be quite appropriate, but it's not very in the style of the song. So we'll think of something else that rhymes with through. Did you hear the warnings as the storm came through? Magnificent, the fury's calling. Oh, see, this is a tricky one. I'm trying to, you know what I do sometimes when I know that I'm and I don't have inspiration for a line, I do a very cheeky thing, and I go on Google and I type in rhymes with, and then the word, and that always gets you through. But we can't put through because, well, we could, but to be honest, I think it's cheeky to rhyme one word with the same word. And I think a lot of people do it and it sounds perfectly fine, and I don't know why I've got an aversion to it, but I have. Well, you is an obvious one. Oh, they're calling just for you. Ah. There we go. They're calling just for you. And then you didn't heed the warnings. Which is exactly what I just said not to do, which is rhyming one word with the same word. But we're going to do it because they're there to be broken. Except for sensible rules like seatbelt belts and traffic lights, don't break them. You didn't heed the warnings. Now your bones are doomed to sink. As the storm came through, now your bone. I think it's just your bones. Don't think it needs the now. Your bones are doomed to sink. As the storm tears at crooked awnings on the ship. Do ships have awnings? Is that a thing? Like an awning is like a porch. I'm not sure if ships have that, but it sounds good. Wind beaten. Now your bones are doomed to sink, broken as the beaten awnings. Broken as the beaten awnings. On your ship, something something ink. Broken as the beaten awnings that litter this bluest ink. Meaning the seawater. Is it bluest or deep green? Oh, I think deep green. That litter this deep green ink, meaning there's loads of shipwreckages everywhere all across this sea. So let's have a little go at that and see if that scans. So we'll go from the start so that I remember what the verse is meant to sound like. Can you hear them calling? The sirens on the waves, pearlescent shining angels fallen, they lead the doomed lost to their graves. Oh, can you hear them wailing? Their voices raised in song. Oh, pearlescent glory shines on those assailing who've been gone for far too long. Lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed? this, and the fury's calling, calling just for you. You didn't heed the warnings, your bones are doomed to sink, broken as the beating awnings that litter this deep greening. Stand, see how many frosted moons have passed. Oh, that went a bit wrong. Have passed, lost and gone. Was he clinging to a sinking mast? Oh, that could work. I'll need a bit of practice to get the flow of it. Oh, I just knocked my keyboard over. Need a bit of practice to get the flow of it, right? And I think we need a bit of variation after that. We can't just go into another verse. Something to add a bit of intrigue to it. I think maybe visualizing it a little bit. Lots of description, I think. Maybe the scene as he's sinking into the water. Oh. Your hands claw, fighting the pull that draws you down beneath the waves. Your hands are claws fighting the pull that draws you down beneath the waves. Your hands are claws fighting the pull. Writing stuff longhand takes a while. That draws you in beneath the waves. Because then the drawing in is not just him sinking, it's the idea of the mermaids sort of drawing him into these treacherous waters. I mean, honestly, who follows mysterious singing? That's not going to lead anywhere good, is it? Not if you've read any folk stories ever. That draws you down. Draws you in or draws you down? Draws you down. Draws you in. Draws you in is more like them pulling him in, but draws you down sounds very definite, and that's a stronger phrase, I think. It draws you down beneath the waves. Ooh. Your hands are claws. The whirlpool's maw. Ooh, maw is in like a big mouth. That rhymes, and it's exciting. I feel like it needs to be exciting and full of action. I don't know why. The whirlpool's maw drags you in. Because then we've got draw and we've got drag and we've got lots of words that sound connected. Your hands are claws fighting the pull that draws you down beneath the waves. The whirlpool's maw drags you in. You know for all you won't be saved. You know for your all you won't be saved. Oh, I like that. It's very desperate. And then we could end it there, but I think it needs to pull back to the sirens and the mermaids a little bit after that. So your hands are claws fighting the pull that draws you down beneath the waves. The whirlpool's maw drags you in. You know for your all you won't be saved. As you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt upon your tongue. As you draw a gurgling breath as you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt fill you up. Feel the salt, because it's going into his lungs, isn't it, and his mouth. But I'm trying to think of a good way to say that leaves us with a word that's going to have a nice easy rhyme to it. As you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt caress your tongue. We'll have to find something that rhymes with tongue then. In fact, what we can do, we can go to our handy little Google device again. These newfangled smartphones and that. And we can search for tongue. And see if I can spell it. There we go. See what some good rhymes are, because that might give us a nice idea of where we want to take that line. As you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt caress your tongue. You see atop the waving mast a figure standing where you once clung. Clung, like clung to, but I don't feel like that's a good, it's not a strong word. Oh, unsung is a nice, or just sung. As you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt caress your tongue, the melody that raised your hairs and raised the sea still being sung. The melody that raised your hairs and raised the sea shall still be sung. Oh, I like that. Because then we're back to the sirens. The melody that raised your hair. I like raised your hair and raised the sea, but maybe raised and dropped. The melody that raised your hair and sank your wits. There we go. The melody that raised your hair and sank your wits shall still be sung. There, how's that work? of course, that's a different section. We're going to have to find a whole new thing to play for that. Well, not a whole new thing. We'll draw from the previous stuff, of course. But shall we go from? We'll go from the top and see how it works. So, can you hear them calling, the sirens on the waves, pearlescent shining angels fallen, they lead the doomed lost to their graves. Can you hear them wailing, the voices on, no pearlescent glory shines on those assailing who've been gone for far too long. Oh, lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed, lost and gone, was he clinging to a sinking mast? Did you hear the warnings as the storm came through? Magnificent, the furies calling, they are calling just for you. You didn't heed the warnings, your bones are doomed to sink, broken as the beatings that litter this deep greening cold. Lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed, lost and gone, was he clinging to a sinking mast? Your hands are claws fighting the pull that draws you down beneath the waves. The whirlpool's more drags you in, you know, for all you won't be saved. As you draw a gurgling breath and feel the salt caress your tongue, the melody that raised your hair and sank your wits shall still be sung. Lost at sea, how many frosted moons have passed, lost and gone, was he clinging to a sinking mast. There we go, we were all sung. Hey, I say we. I was hoping for some prompts. I'll have to advertise on Twitter and stuff next time I'm doing a stream. I wrote a song though. If you've got any suggestions and stuff for different places to take that song, then please be my guest and let me know, because I would love that. That would be really nice. I'd love to have some interaction and collaboration. Obviously, at the moment with COVID, I've not been able to chat to my bandmates that much. Well, one of them lives in the loft, but my other bandmate, and university collaborations and everything are all not on the go at the moment because it's not even been term time. So if anyone has any suggestions or anything, I'm happy to work with people. That being said, it is now 3 minutes to 6, so we've been at this a whole hour. But to say it's only been an hour, whole song written. I hope that anyone watching has inspiration for how fun writing a song can be. Give it a go if you don't already, and if you do already, drop something in the comments. Give me a link to your music. I'd love to check it out. And with that, I'm gonna sign off. So thank you for watching.